Hello, Facebook and YouTube. Looks like we're coming up here. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Nice. There we go. There we go. Don't look at the camera. Hello, everybody. Got to get all hooked up here and get all ready. And I need to use my readers for that. Welcome to tonight's show as I get everything all set up. Oh, here we go. Gotta get on Facebook here. Looks like I'm up on YouTube. Hello. Hi, Gord. How's it going? I love the people that show up early. There we go. We're talking about being in hindsight this week. You know, it's all clear in hindsight. 2020, right? That's what we all say, right? It's 2020 in hindsight. So tonight's show is talking all about that. How we can become better. We can be an observer. Yeah, so we're going to talk about that tonight. How was your weekend, though? While we're waiting for the show to come back up. We're going to get going in about 6 minutes here. But how was your weekend? I got a little bit of color. Got a little redness there going on. Ran 2 days. Got out there. It was beautiful weather. Oh my gosh. For the prediction that, hi Ember, for the prediction that it was supposed to be rainy and cruddy all weekend long, it turned out to be beautiful. I hope it was beautiful in your part of the country. Or as Willard Scott used to say, your neck of the woods. I think he coined that phrase. Maybe not. Let me know if you know the history on that. But hopefully it was fun for your weekend also. It was great on mine. Got a couple of runs in there. We did. We just went out and said yes to everything, as Ember can attest to. So we hit all those good things. Did things I haven't done in years. There you go. We're going to get going in about 5 minutes now. If you have any questions, comments, or anything about the show, you let me know in the comments section. Otherwise, I'm just going to take over this show and go crazy on that. Well, hello. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the likes. Yeah, it was a great weekend. Beautiful weather. We're going to keep it going this week, I think. There was a few scattered showers today here. It's like a weather forecast, huh? We have a few scattered showers, isolated scattered showers in the area. There you go. Be a weatherman, be a sports person, huh? I couldn't be a sports person. I'm not a sports guy. Can't do a lot about sports. I could just go. I could do that a few times. But that's soccer, isn't it? I think so. Or do they do that in hockey too? A goal, maybe? I don't know. Or is there lacrosse or something? I don't know. Anyway, about 4 minutes to go. We'll get on with the show. Hey, that kind of rhymes. I like that. With 4 minutes to go, we'll get on with the show. And so we're going to talk about hindsight is 2020. So if you have some favorite stories, feel free to shoot those in the comments section. We'll be back here next week. Same Dave time, same Dave channel. It's all about Dave. And then Wednesday, I'm doing an interview. Got an interview going on, so we'll do the replay of that interview. You'll see the following week. I'll do some excerpts. That's hard to say. Excerpts from that show. So, if you have any comments or questions, I don't know. I'm doing stuff as it's a pre-show. I can move stuff around and things like that during the pre-show. Just during the regular show, you can't do that, right? So, we'll get things going. Oh, hi. Got a few people on the old YouTube channel. Although I can't see, unless you comment, I can't see who you are. So on Facebook or on YouTube, throw me a comment, say hello, say something, so I can see your identity. Reveal your identity. Don't hide behind the computer. Oh, yeah, it's wonderful here. I get a little silly. I can see that there's people on here, but I can't see who you are unless you comment. Yeah, there you go. See? Hello. That's all you got to do. Hello. There you go. Put it out there. So tonight we're going to talk about hindsight is 2020 and all those cycles within your life. Yeah, so we're going to get going in about 2 minutes, the countdown. Todd, you're here. Thank you for participating. Come out from wherever you are. Did you get rained on this weekend, Todd? Todd, you and I should just do our own little show. We could bring you in. I can bring you in via Zoom, and we could just do our own little show, right? Well, you could be the it could be Dave and the Paver Guy, or Dave and Todd show. I don't know. Let's play around with that. There you go. No. Todd says no. No. Todd, you could talk up a storm. You could probably go for like 3 hours. We could do a marathon on your stories alone. And that's a compliment. Oh. You need someone doing landscaping / paver patios. Oh, awesome. Patios, by the way. Todd's your man. Oh, nope to rain. Oh, thank you. So we're still on for the show. Okay, cool. Got a little rain today. Less than a minute to go in the pre-show, and then we'll get going on the show, and I like to do that a lot. I don't know why, but I do. Yes, Facebook and YouTube are silly little things. All right, we're going to get going in about 30 seconds. Yeah, we had fun, though. We went to Little America, which is just a hop, skip, and a jump away. We took our little grandson, Gabe, to Little America, 5-year-old. He had a ball. And then we went to, Todd, you're going to dig this. We went to the Speedway. Yeah, I went to the Speedway. That was a new experience. So there you go. And we went and saw Everclear. Okay, we're going to get going. Welcome, everybody, to tonight's show of shows. This is Dave Stelma here, coming to you live on Facebook and on YouTube. And tonight, there's cycles in our lives. We're going to talk about those cycles in our lives. And until you become the observer of those cycles, you'll always be 2 steps behind, right? So tonight, we're going to talk about those cycles. You know, you have financial, you got spiritual, you got physical cycles that we've all gone through. I'm 53 years old, and I'm going to talk all about those, and we're going to explore that and more after the intro. The cycles of our lives. Sounds like a song or something, or a soap opera, right? The past, the present, the future, as you can see there. Someone spray painted on my wall. What's going on there? Hi, Courtney. If you think back in hindsight, it's all 2020, right? You're thinking about how that love of your life didn't work out, and then you met the true love of your life. Jobs. I've gotten fired from jobs before. And all of a sudden I'm like devastated, and you're like, oh my gosh, what's going to go on? How am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to do you start freaking out on certain things, and you're like, and then all of a sudden the better job shows up, and you're like, oh, okay, I guess I didn't need to go through that, try to get over that hurdle. I just had to go with the flow. There was a reason why I wasn't there. So in my story, well, let's go way back when. I played in bands when I was in high school. I played in bar bands, got out there, sang. Then went to college briefly, I'll say, because I dropped out after about a year and a half. Dropped out of college, played in some more bands, started working retail. And then because of all that, you think now I reflect back and I'm like, playing in bands, that gave me the ability to even do this. The technology wise, there was, being able to figure that stuff out, playing guitar, singing, all those good things. It all gave me abilities that I utilize today when I'm out teaching, when I'm speaking, when I'm doing training and coaching in that. It's just all those things that you can pull upon, that experience that I had in the past. And then from managing retail stores, now I have a business background, but it's all practical. It's not like I went to, and that's why college didn't quite work out for me. And I understand now. I used to be like, oh my gosh, I have to make up something on an interview, or when I'm going for a job and things of that sort. And so then I had to come up with like excuses of why. And then all of a sudden I realized, it's actually an asset to me of what I've done experience-wise. So managing retail stores, then that brought me to my first marriage, and at the same time opening my own clothing store, resale clothing store here, and had that for 13 years. And then along the way, I worked some random part-time jobs for health insurance, things of that sort. And those all gave me different experiences that I would never had. I mean, working for UPS at the same time of doing, having my own business and doing things like that, coordinating those things, and working two jobs. I have respect for people that work two jobs, try to own a business and working that business, and then in downtime, you're also working a part-time job. I have great respect for those people because they're doing exactly what I did and am doing, and so utilizing that, you gain knowledge, you gain experience because you're talking to people along the way. You meet some great people, you hear some great stories, and you utilize those stories in your own way to benefit for your business or what it happens in the future by gaining that knowledge from the present. And now if you reflect back of all the things that you've gone through, I mean, these are some of the things that I've gone through. And in the meantime, those cycles of financial downtime. I mean, and I just call it that because there's going to be these cycles of money in your lifetime where all of a sudden the money is a little bit more tight. And then all of a sudden you have a lot of money. You have money built up in your savings. You have money built up in your 401k or your retirement fund. And then all of a sudden you feel a little bit more confident. And then all of a sudden you might go down into that lower money cycle. And as we acquire more money in life and with experience, those cycles are still there. It's just not as detrimental. All of a sudden, instead of going down to a minus money where how am I going to pay the mortgage bill this month because I'm in the hole, all of a sudden it's like you have a surplus, but it's just not quite as much of a surplus as you had before that. So think about that as you grow. The stress could still be there, but handle the stress wisely. Don't necessarily get all stressed out because we're lacking money this month or something of that sort. We get wiser as we go. And like in my experience now, during that same time I opened the retail store, business was good. And then there was low times on business, and then there's high times on business. And it's same thing with the marriage. Same thing was at that moment in time. And then towards the end of both of those, hi Kyle. Towards the end of both of those cycles, I was asking myself, my now ex-wife was working some retail jobs. I'm like, getting all strung out going, why aren't you working, more in a better position? You're more qualified. Why aren't you working in a place that would give us more money? Things of that sort. And now in hindsight, I realize why. because I wouldn't have met the love of my life if it wouldn't have been for my ex-wife working at the place that she did, because the two of them worked together. Oh. But that's how I met Ember, was because my ex-wife was working at a retail, and at the time, I was frustrated. There wasn't, I'm working different multiple jobs, things of that sort, trying to get things, keep things afloat, and yet she wasn't doing that. And it's like she was actually going to a lesser job from one that paid better. She was going to a lesser part-time job and things of that sort. And now it makes sense. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy that she did that, because otherwise I wouldn't have met Ember, right? So now in hindsight, that all makes sense. It didn't make sense before, but now it all makes sense. And so everything that's happening now in my life, I take a moment, I ponder back of trying to relate of how this is going to work out. I can't think futuristically. I can't look into the future. I don't have a magic or a crystal ball. Oh, here. I don't have a crystal ball. It's a globe. But I don't have a crystal ball that I can read and go, oh, where would the future hold? What would the future hold? I wish I could, but that just doesn't work out that way. I can't predict that. Hi, Diane. Thanks for joining. So I wish that I could do that and predict in the future, but now I look and I try to become more of the observer, right? I'm observing everything that's happening, and I go, there's a reason why this is happening right now. There's a reason why I'm living in the place I'm living right now. There's someone I'm supposed to meet. There's some interaction that's supposed to go on. There's something that's going. So as you get that offer, as you get that email, certain things are going to crop up into your life. Look for that as an observer and be the one that now you can observe it and relate to it and take advantage of it. Your higher power is pushing you in a direction. They're guiding you on your journey. They're guiding you down your pathway. And if the ones that are the wise ones in the world, and there's a lot of them out there, and sometimes we sit back and go, that person doesn't know any more than I do. Why am I in this place and they're in that place? Why are they reaping more benefits than I am at this moment in time? And just become the observer, and where that flow takes you. And even if it blocks up, if something doesn't flow for you, know that and walk away from that deal or that person or that piece of furniture or whatever that is creating that blockage in your life. Walk away from that and keep going down your journey path. That's so that's kind of like my story. Everyone, and I'm sure you're relating to it now, you're thinking of, oh yeah, if I didn't break up with that person, I wouldn't be in the position that I'm at. I wouldn't have the family that I have. I wouldn't, or even money-wise. Things of that sort. It's like if times are tough now, they're going to get better. It's the cycle. It's part of that cycle. So if you're in a down cycle right now, it's going to go up. It happens everywhere. Stock market, gas prices, whatever it is. If gas is going to be an all-time low, someday it's going to be an all-time high. It's going to happen. So relish where you're at and become the observer. Observe what that is. And when you get that offer, that special offer, check it out. And if all of a sudden it just doesn't feel right, or if it doesn't flow some way, then that's great. It wasn't supposed to be. That wasn't the thing. But keep looking at those things and keep observing, and keep moving forward in that. Which leads it to being that observer. Life can only be understood backwards, right? We're talking about hindsight. So your hindsight is always 2020. totally clear when you reflect back. That's what we're talking about as far as where you need to go. So think of yourself. Here's your little lesson for this week. Sit down, take 5 minutes by yourself, go into whatever. If you're in a crowded family at home, go in the bathroom and lock the door, but take down a pad of paper and a pen and sit down and start thinking backwards. Think about the path that you've taken to this point in your life, and then think about that, and then start relating the pattern that's in there, right? There's a rhythm to our lives, and there's a rhythm to everything that we do, which brings me to the observation, that's what I'm striving to say, the observation that I had today, which there's this tune that kept ringing in my brain, which was a Ricky Martin song. And I'm like going, what does that mean? So I'm like observing even those little details, because what does that all mean? Because there's something that's coming to me, because I didn't just hear it on the radio and then when it stuck in my brain. So be the observer, and all of a sudden you're going to become, from hindsight, you're going to see these patterns and these rhythms in your life. Is there a certain type of person that you keep dating or having a relationship with? And it could be friend relationships. Is there someone within your life that you keep that type of person keeps cropping up? That's something you have to ask yourself. Financially, what are the cycles? Observe those cycles and find them, realize them, and then that's where you're going to all of a sudden start becoming the observer, because you're observing the past first, realizing the cycle, and then that hindsight is all of a sudden going to become into the present, and then from the present, it's going to come into the future, right? And that cycle keeps going, and it's going to go until we're not here on Earth. So sit down and realize. So take that 5 minutes, reflect back, just go back 5 years. That's probably an easiest one to do. If you want to go back farther, keep going back farther. But you're going to find those cycles in your life. There's a reason why you're here and your journey. And everything that you've done leads up to this point, and it's only going to prosper in the future. So go forward with that. All of a sudden, everything just flashed there. I hope that didn't put things on lockdown, but I'm going to just keep pushing forward. So go look at those. Go back 5 years. Look at a cycle that's happened in the last 5 years. That's going to be generally the cycle of what you're going to be in for the next 5 years, unless you become the observer and then go, you know what? I'm not going to stress out about money. There's a cycle in my life, and I know that now I'm in a down cycle, and it could be, or an up cycle. Maybe you're in an up cycle right now, and there's money is plentiful. Money is plentiful, but you know that back 3 years ago there was a down cycle, maybe whatever the year date is. I'm just coming up with some ideas this way. Hi, Adam. How you doing? So you could be in a high. You could be at that high cycle right now financially. Financially is the easiest way to relate, right? Because we all kind of have those times. So if you're financially at your high point, you know there's going to be a low point. So what do? You prepare a little bit better. You become the observer. You don't freak out. You don't just go and throw money around, make it rain. You don't make it rain. You just kind of hang on to some of that, store it away, because then your low is going to be higher than what it was before. So instead of going in the negative or going to zero on that checking account, you may go up, $5,000 is your low point. $10,000 is your low point. So now that's your lowest point. You're raising it because you're learning from it. You're observing what you went through before, and you know these cycles are going to come. Now, if you're on a low cycle, that's okay too. Know that there's going to be a high cycle coming up. So don't get stressed. Don't get worried about it. Be wise, but look at the last 5 years and then realize what that cycle was. There's a cycle behind everything. You want to be the observer, where you now, instead of being in the cycle, it's like being in a tornado. You're either going to be in the tornado whipping around and being stressed and worried about it, or are you going to be in the center of that tornado just observing everything else going around you? Does that make sense? You know it does. I'm loving that right away. It's an analogy I've used for many times in classes, but being that observer, that's an easy one to relate to. Now you're inside the tornado as it's whipping around, and you're going to see your money, your careers, your physical. You may be in a down cycle physically. Now you know that you're gonna be coming up in an up cycle soon. So that may be that all of a sudden you get that email offer, or someone's talking to you about this workout program or this new type of eating lifestyle. I don't like the word diet because diet has a bad connotation to it, like we're on a diet of some sort, the cabbage diet or something. But you're in a healthier cycle. It could be a different eating pattern or eating type. Thank you. Thanks for the love and the thumbs up. I love those smiley faces. I saw a wow face or an oh no face. But those, know that you're going to be in a cycle. Okay, you're in a cycle right now. Learn what those are and become part of that, and know that and learn from it, and then be the observer into this cycle that you're in. You're either in an up cycle or a down cycle. Prepare for it, and then you're going to flourish. Okay? Awesome. People on YouTube watching too. I love it. With YouTube being on TV. Did you know that there's YouTube TV? I think it's out by now. It was supposed to be out in June. Oh no, we're not in June yet. It was supposed to be out in June, so it's coming very soon. YouTube TV, you can hook up to that. There's app, and Facebook is now on Apple TV. So if you have Apple TV, you can see me on the big screen. Oh no, not good, not pretty. But so going back to that, hindsight 2020, start it today. Look at those cycles, which leads us into those who go with the flow. Go with that flow. So this is the final segment of it. This is the other thing I want you to do. Look at the roadblocks that have come up in your life. The roadblocks aren't really roadblocks. They're detours. So every job I've ever gotten fired in, I've gotten fired from jobs. Imagine that. Dave, Mr. Positive, getting fired from a job. Well, it happens. And it's because I'm not supposed to be there. That's not where I was supposed to be. And if I didn't, now in hindsight, I look back, if I didn't get fired from my last retail job, I wouldn't have started a store. And I wouldn't have had that store, and I wouldn't have touched all the lives of those people that worked for me, that I inspired, and I taught them different ways and different viewpoints from where they were at. Thanks for the likes. And it wouldn't have been there. So that now looking back, now when it happened, I was devastated. I was young. I was devastated. Didn't know what to do. Didn't know how was I going to get health insurance? How was I going to do all these things? This is way back when in the day. And so now I've learned you just go with the flow. If all of a sudden you get a phone call, today I had 3 people email me saying, heard about you, would love to sit down and talk with you about what you could do for my company. Where does that come from? It comes from the flow, right? And they may be nothing that I'm interested in. They may be something great that I'm interested in, but I don't know that until I just answer that. Now, I can't lead with my suspicions, because one of them was just kind of like something that it was just so vague that I just kind of went, but I'm like, I'll have a conversation. If you have 20 minutes, I'll have a 20-minute conversation with you. If it's not something that's legit or something that I feel comfortable with, I may find somebody else that does. It's as simple as that. But it's the flow. All of a sudden, as things do well in your life, you're going to all of a sudden see more things come at you. Here's a great example. The minute you fall in love, happened when in younger days, oh my gosh, this is like, I can guarantee you this. The minute you fall in love with someone, all of a sudden these other people all are attracted to you. All of a sudden offers come in. Happens in business too. As soon as you take that one big order, all of a sudden all these other companies come in at you, and they're coming towards you. And when you make that decision, it just, the door breaks open. It's open wide, and you can, you have to go with the flow though. If all of a sudden one door opens and the other one seems like it's starting to close, shut that door, go into the other one. Go with the flow when the door opens. Walk through it and see what's on the other side. That's all you can do. And it may not be for life, for a lifetime, but it's going to be where it's going to open the door is going to open up to where you're supposed to be at that moment in time. And it can be from it could be as simple as a half off order or a half off sale or deal or something. It could be that course. All of a sudden, that course that you always wanted to take is all of a sudden a big bargain. All of a sudden you're getting that irresistible offer that's coming through. And so watch for that. Be open to it and become the observer. Because once you become the observer, now you're like, okay, I can make that. I can look at that offer. I can look at what's going on. And you're, like I said before, you're behind the scenes. You're just watching the cycles happen, and you're not being in the cycle itself, getting stressed, getting anxiety, getting all those things. And that comes with maturity. There are mature people that realize this. It took me 53 years to figure this out. And it took me multiple classes. It took me multiple coaches, life and personal coaches and business coaches and mentors and reading and studying before I got to this. There's other people that have caught on to this fresh out of the gate that are even catching on to it at 12 years old. You'll meet some 12-year-old entrepreneurs that you're going to be like amazed with, right? I'll see if I can get some on for some interviews. But there's some that are out there that catch on to this way faster. I'm just here to try to help you get in that groove way faster than I had to. So if you can catch this 10 years younger than me, you're going to be 10 years older than me, financially, spiritually, physically, than I am right now. So when you hit 53, great. If you're older, that's no problem either. We can learn from that. There's always a starting point, and this can be yours. So go with the flow of life. Be the observer of life. Be the observer of your cycles, and you'll just go farther, faster. And that's what I'm here for, to help you go farther, faster. Looks like we're coming up to the end of the show. If there's any questions or comments, you always can shoot those in the comments section. Like I said before, the toughest thing is I don't even know. All I see is numbers on here. I can see that there's 35 people on here right now. I have no idea, unless you put a comment in there, who you are or what you're doing. And I know you're there watching. You're lurking. We call you lurkers in the business, but that's okay. You're learning something, and I hope you do. This is all free on live on Facebook and YouTube. Before I go, I just want to let you know a couple of things. These are the things I want you to do this week. I want you to first look back 5 years and use your hindsight. Think back of everything that happened to you tragically, everything that happened to you magically. The good times, the bad times. And then think of them in a cycle, and then look at them. What happened before this that caused this? There's a cause and effect always in there. That's a whole nother show. But then take the next 5 years and now realize I'm going to observe and I'm going to go with the flow. Okay? So then now we're going to take our knowledge from the hindsight and then go into that. So take the time, do the observing, think back 5 years for the hindsight and what happened in your life, and then we're going to utilize that in the next 5 years, and you're going to have the next 5 years then will be incredible. And this is some of the things that I walk you through as far as coaching and that too. So I hope this was informative. I hope this was doing well for you. Until next week, I'm Dave Stelma. Enjoy your week, enjoy your life, and smile. Just keep smiling. We'll see you next week on Tuesday at 6:30. And until then, have a great week. Bye-bye. See you later.